Hi everybody, it's Beth, and today I'm making a really adorable fall shelf sitter. I grabbed these 3 little pumpkins from Dollar General, this little fall sign from Dollar Tree, this grateful word and scrapbook paper from Hobby Lobby, Wedgwood green acrylic paint, Parisian gray chalk paint, Mod Podge Gorilla Glue, hot glue, and some greenery and Spanish moss. So the first thing I did was started by removing these little wired hangers from the pumpkins. Just took off the wires from either side and the beads because I won't be using those. So I removed those from all 3. And then once I had those removed, I gave the front of these only 1 coat of the Parisian gray chalk paint. I did not bother painting the sides or the backs because it was already a really pretty gray color and it matched the scrapbook paper that I picked out. So I just painted 1 coat on each of those. And then I used the Wedgwood green acrylic paint and painted the grateful word, and I did 2 coats front and back covering the entire thing. Then I took this little sign, which was from Dollar Tree, and I painted the front of it and all of the sides with the Parisian gray chalk paint, and I did 2 coats on that, drying it in between. And I had grabbed this really adorable paper from Hobby Lobby, and I wanted to use specific spots on each pumpkin. So I just grabbed a piece that I wanted to use and cut out the majority of it, a little bit larger than the pumpkin, and then traced out what I needed to cut out. So I did that for all 3. Just cut out different little images that I wanted to use from that paper. And then I applied a layer of Mod Podge to the front of the pumpkin where I had painted it. And I did everything on the front except for the stem because I'm not going to be putting the scrapbook paper on there. So everything but the stem. And I did that for all 3, just placing down each of the pieces of paper. And then after I had all the paper on each of the pumpkins, I put down some parchment paper on top of them and used my mini iron to iron on each of those. So it gets rid of the bubbles and wrinkles and dries the Mod Podge. So I did that to all 3 of them. And then I did an outer layer of Mod Podge covering each of the pieces of paper and used my heating tool to dry each of those. And then after they were dry, I went around each of them with some sandpaper and just removed all the excess paper that was around the edges. And then next I added some greenery to the top of each pumpkin. These are little leaves from off of lamb's ear picks from Walmart. I added a couple to each of the pumpkins as well as some Spanish moss. So I just hot glued those into place. Once that was done, I added the 3 pumpkins right on top of the sign. And what I did was put a little bit of the Gorilla Grip glue on the bottom of each of them and some hot glue, and then place them down, trying to get it as centered on that top of that sign as possible. I started with the 2 pumpkins on the outer edge to make sure that I had them even, and then did the middle one last. And then I needed to add on the grateful word, so I was trying to get it as level as possible, so I stuck something under the pumpkins, put a little bit of hot glue on the bottom of the word, and then made sure that none of the lettering was sticking out of the bottom of the sign, so it would be sitting nice and flush. And that is it. I think it turned out super pretty. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video.